Since its release, Silent Spirit, a masterpiece horror film, has become an unforgettable shadow for millions of moviegoers, and today, we are going to talk about the sequel of Silent Spirit, which is still being enjoyed by moviegoers. The story begins when a girl, Sasha, hides herself from a group of black-robed robes and hides herself in the amusement park's merry-go-round. But only then does she find out that the controller of the merry-go-round is a three-cornered monster, and even worse, the merry-go-round is suddenly transformed into tied-up people who keep screaming horribly. Even more horrifying was that the horses had all turned into tied-up people who were screaming horribly. A pale-faced girl appeared in front of Sasha, and as soon as she had finished speaking, a fire was released from her mighty hand, burning the whole carousel, and even Sasha herself was swallowed up by the flames. The next moment, a knife-wielding monster appeared and killed his father. Sans awoke from his dream again. He had just had a dream within a dream. Lately, Sans was having frequent dreams, and they felt increasingly real. Surprisingly, during breakfast, his father gave him a birthday gift. Sans excitedly unwrapped it, finding the jacket from his dream. This made Sans uneasy, but he didn't want to disappoint his father, so he returned home to avoid danger. Sasha felt uneasy, but didn't tell his father the truth to avoid worry. After breakfast, Sasha headed to school, but strange events occurred. On her way, a homeless man turned into a monster, then back. Sasha was unsure if it was a mistake or if monsters existed. At school, she found herself alone in a previously crowded corridor, and the lights began to change. The lights flickered, and shouts of "Kill the witch" echoed in her ears. Just as Sasha was about to find the source, the corridor plunged into darkness. When the lights returned, Sasha was amidst ruins, with a monstrous creature wrapped in membranes approaching her. Terrified, she backed away and accidentally bumped into a male classmate. Sasha, in a flash, returned to reality. The boy knocked down was her classmate, Vincent, who liked her and wanted to talk, but she wasn't in the mood. It was tough to get through the day. Sasha left school but turned back, spotting a stranger by the gate. She remembered seeing him on her way to school and felt he was watching her, so she called her dad, saying she might be followed. They agreed to meet at the mall. Oddly, she waited long at the mall, but her dad didn't show up. What terrified her more was noticing everyone in the mall had become bloodthirsty monsters. Sasha was petrified by the scene. Then, the man she thought was following her appeared again. She quickly hid in the mall staircase, repeatedly calling her dad. But the call wasn't a good idea. The call. At that moment, the man ran after him, saying he meant no harm and was there to save him. The stranger revealed to Sasha that she was a private detective hired by a church to locate her. After watching Sasha for a while, the detective discovered Sasha was pure and good, while the church was an evil group from Silent Ridge. She came to warn Sasha to flee. This was the second time she heard of Silent Ridge. This was the second time she heard of Silent Hill, but she still didn't want to believe it and locked herself in the elevator. Suddenly, she saw the knife-faced monster from her dream appear behind the detective, slicing off half of her palm with a single cut. Sally quickly dragged her into the elevator, hoping to escape the knife face, but it leaped onto the elevator's top, slashing a hole with its sword-like arm. Suddenly, Blade's face disappeared, and they didn't see the two people. Relieved, they were about to leave the elevator when Blade reappeared and took the detective. Sasha fled and met classmate Vincent, who wanted to take her home. Sasha couldn't escape, but soon saw the man in the black robe from her dream under a street lamp across the street. But when Vincent stared at Sally in her sleep again, and she couldn't see the group of people, Sally grew more alarmed. So many unimaginable things had happened today, especially since her father hadn't answered her call, even though he knew about it, which made her more worried. By the time she got home, her father had disappeared, leaving only the big, bloodied words "Go to Silent Spirit" scribbled on the wall. The secretive symbols beside the words reminded her of the wooden box her father had with the same engraving. When she opened it, she found a letter from her father. Inside was information about Silent Hill and a seal with a mysterious pattern. Although Sally didn't recognize the seal, she felt it was unusual. Finally, she put on the seal and took a pistol, then went to Silent Hill as the box information directed. On the way, Sally opened the letter from her father and discovered he knew he would be missing for a day. I told Sasha her dream experiences were real. She was trapped in Silent Hill since childhood because her mother sent her with the seal. Silent Hill was a colonial prison overtaken by a malevolent church that burned a girl yearly to summon gods. Alessa couldn't be burned, and her agony turned into hatred, cursing the town. Silent Spirit became a human purgatory, hard to escape. Her father warned Sasha not to return, but she couldn't ignore his capture. They hurried to Silent Spirit, planning to rest at a hotel. But while Sasha slept, the girl attacked and took her to the church. When he awoke from his nightmare, he discovered Vincent sitting beside his bed, holding the seal in his hand with a grave expression on his face. He realized that Sasha had awakened. Vincent suggested that he ought to heed his father's advice and avoid going to Foster Ridge. Despite Sasha's refusal, Vincent revealed a secret about himself. He had also been a member of Foster Ridge's church. He was entrusted with the sole responsibility of bringing Sasha back to Foster Ridge. Sasha could never have imagined that someone she trusted so much would deceive her, and she would never know she was being deceived. Vincent confessed to me that he was compelled to do so. To save the church, Vincent endured unbearable pain to leave Foster's Ridge. Now, she realizes the church is responsible for it all. She told Sasha that to protect her goodness from darkness, Allison transferred a part of her soul into a baby girl. That baby girl was Sasha. Therefore, returning to Foster's Ridge was impossible. If she did, the church would burn her alive and sacrifice her if she and Allison were united. If she and Elisa became one, the church would burn her alive and offer her as a sacrifice to the gods. But Sasha, eager to save her father, was indifferent. Vincent had no choice but to give the seal to Sasha, reminding her that to save her father, she must find the other half of the seal. As Vincent's words echoed, the room suddenly plunged into darkness. In an instant, the room's walls began peeling off. Seeing this familiar scene, Vincent realized they had reached the spirit of silence. At that moment, the sword's face reappeared and attacked them both. Beat. When Sasha wakes up, she finds herself in a strange room. As the alarm sounds outside, the world goes dark. The room, which had been so clean at the beginning of the day, is in a state of disrepair. In order to make sense of the situation, Sasha accidentally walks into a warehouse full of plastic models. As soon as she enters the door, she feels the presence of countless eyes staring at her, and this makes her feel very uncomfortable. Before long, she hears the sound of a girl's crying in the vicinity. She followed the sound and saw a naked girl lying on the slab, and in the next moment, the girl was transformed into a plastic model. Sasha realized that all the plastic models here were alive, and then she saved another girl who had not yet been transformed into a plastic model, but this action alerted a nearby model spider. Sasha grabbed her and ran away, but as they were about to climb out of the duct, the girl was still killed by Mo. The spider seized Sasha, realizing they couldn't rescue her again, so they pressed on until they encountered a blind old man confined in a crumbling cell. After conversing with him, we discovered that this old man wasn't an outsider who had stumbled into Silent Hill. In fact, he was a church member and the father of the high priest. However, his own daughter imprisoned him due to her dark relatives. The old man lamented that his daughter had endured relatives even more sinister than he had. When he learned Sasha was there to save her father with the seal, he was instructed to locate his father and subsequently taken to the prison. Upon discovering Sasha's mission to rescue her father using the seal, the old man proposed that he examine the seal, which might assist in finding her father. Sasha agreed but discreetly readied his pistol. If the old man made a wrong move, Sasha wouldn't hesitate to fire. As soon as the old man finished speaking, he forcefully embedded the seal within himself. Instantly, his previously blind eyes regained their sight, and he realized Sasha was part of Eliza. In a critical manner, he strangled her, forcing her from his grasp. At that moment, Sally decided to fire the gun. To her surprise, the old man didn't die, he became a monster. This creature broke free from the chain, knocked Sally out, and carried her from the cell. When Sally awoke, she saw a crack in the monster's body, revealing the Union seal. She reached in and pulled it out. The monster then threw her down and turned her to ashes. Now, Sasha must continue searching for her father alone. In the narrow corridor, inmates reach out, trying to stop her. A monster with a triangular head seems to have heard Sasha's call. It heads straight to the corridor and cuts off all the arms. This triangular-headed creature is actually the protector summoned by Alicia. Since Sasha has part of Alicia's soul, it also serves as her protector. Sasha, unaware of this, escapes from the corridor and finds her way to a room where a rather attractive little nurse is present. There, she sees Vincent strapped to the operating table. They soon realize that these nurses are blind, despite having excellent hearing. So, Sasha gently unties Vincent from the restraints, and they quietly leave the area. With Vincent guiding her, Sasha finally reaches the entrance where her father is held, which turns out to be the amusement park of his dreams. The black robes are nearby, unexpectedly, so the two of them carefully hide at the side. After seeing Sasha's determination to save her father, Vincent confesses his love for her and presents her with a gift. But just as they left, she gave a heartfelt kiss and then rushed out to help Sasha distract the black robes, and Sasha arrived in the middle of the carousel just like in her dream, and saw the pale-faced girl with her own eyes. By now, Sasha knew that the person she was talking to was the one who had brought darkness to the town, Eliza, who had ordered Sasha to leave the place immediately, and had also told her that her father was only an adoptive father, and she didn't need to make any sacrifices for her. And when Sasha insisted on saving her father, she became furious and ordered her father, Ali, to leave the place. Seeing Sasha's insistence on saving her father, Elisa was furious and grabbed Sasha by the neck, ready to take back her life. But what Elisa didn't expect was that the help of Sasha's seal had swallowed her soul, and the merry-go-round began to sink slowly. Sasha finally found her way to the church's lair, where she found her father in chains. The high priest thanked Sasha for defeating Elisa and for helping her to put together a seal, but he wasn't ready to release Sasha's father, because he wanted to use it to save her father, and to save her from the fate of her father, but he didn't want to. The man's blood was offered to the gods, making Sasha their vessel. The high priestess demanded the seal from Sasha. But, as warned, she was tainted by darkness. Touching the seal, she became a demon. The sharpshooter was ready to strike Sasha, but Triangle Head deflected the blow. The monsters fought. The sharpshooter was swift but not powerful. Blade Face, though agile, couldn't withstand Triangle Head's force and was beheaded. Sasha was saved and ready to leave with Vincent. Her father stayed to search for his long-lost wife, entrusting Sasha to Vincent. They boarded a bus and left the mountain. But as they departed, the monsters fought again. But right after they left, more police cars went toward Foster's Ridge, so the rumors aren't over. That's all for today's story. How do you like the video? Write in the comments. Subscribe to watch more interesting horror video. I'm Yasser Arafat. See you next time.